Hi guys, my name is Angel here. This is Dev++. In today's episode, we're gonna continue building our JSON REST API with Go and Gin. So let's jump right into it. So today we're gonna talk about a little bit about how to build some JSON endpoints and some JSON binding, right? So this is the steps that we're gonna take. First of all, we're gonna create some JSON bin struct, right? Creator CRUD web services. Remember, create, read, update, and delete. And then we're gonna be storing our data locally, just like we had done in previous in this JSON REST APIs with different languages. We're gonna be leaving the connecting to a database to a different video, a different series in that video. Just because it will require a little bit more time. So let's get it. So first of all, I'm gonna open my terminal here, and I'm gonna open my Visual Studio Code, which is what I'm using to code our Go application. So I'm gonna go into my work folder. This is an error, but I don't know what that means. So, okay. So remember, we get from our previous video or our previous episode, couple of web services just to return some basic JSON, right? So we're gonna create 4 stops or 4 functions to be able to handle our task, right? Remember that we're gonna be using our CRUD convention, right? You just type it here, create, read, update, and delete, right? So let's do that. For the first function, let's gonna call create task, right? Second one is gonna be read task, right? Then we're gonna create a couple of additional functions. One's gonna be update task, and the other one is gonna be delete task. So one tricky thing here, remember this is very unique from Go. Capitalized words and capitalized name for functions and variables means that they are public to use outside of the file where we are defining them, right? The reason why this is tricky is because you may want to use a convention, a name convention for, starting with lower camel case or upper camel case, and that might conflict in some cases, right? So for now, what I'm choosing to do is I'm using camel case for, every function that I have here, right? So moving forward, right? So we will have a get version of this. Let's go with this task, right? We will have, now let's do it in this same order, right? We're gonna have a post. We're gonna have a get tasks. We're gonna have a put task, and we're gonna have a delete task, right? So let me match up these functions. Just copy and paste in here. Copy and paste in here. Read task, and create task. Perfect. For now, it's working with this dummy 4 functions. So in order to continue this, so we can create our type task, right? It's a struct, and we're gonna add a couple fields. Remember, camel case is gonna be a string, right? And then I'm gonna have description, which is gonna be also a string, right? Just missing those semicolons there. Okay, so let's start talking about our API, right? I'm gonna create a global variable named tasks, right? It's gonna be a list of tasks. And for now, it's gonna start empty. Or let's just create one record, one dummy task so we can, it's gonna be a task, right? Sorry, it's gonna be this. So name test. Sorry, I'm missing the symbol here for starting it. Sorry, I'm not quite used to syntax for Go, but I'll get it done. Description, task description, task name. All right. Okay, so just some seed data there for this. So something here there is super important, right? Gin, it has a way of bending JSON strings or JSON data to a struct on Go, right? In this case, the task, right? He has a mechanism to serialize and deserialize JSON into a data structure on Go, right? In this case, a struct, right? The way that it does that is by using some annotation or description that you can put in a struct field, right? In this case, it's gonna be name, right? For the JSON, we're gonna use a more JSON-ish standard, which is a camel case. And for description, it's gonna be description, right? So just to emphasize on this, right? What we're gonna use for, sorry, it's a semicolon here. So what we're gonna use for mapping that is this information that we're given here. So we're gonna use a function that Gin has in order to accomplish this, which is for now is very basic, but that's gonna be enough in order for us to be able to convert what is coming to a web service into an actual task, and also do the other way around. Just like letting know that a list of tasks can be serialized using this metadata or annotations, right? So first of all, for creating the task, right? Or before we do that, I want to make a pause here, just to give you guys like an important message for the channel, right? Make sure to hit the like button if you like this content and this video. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing videos like this and get notified when I post a new one. I'm gonna be doing videos every week for content that is like this and the other ones that I made. Make sure to share this with someone who you think that this is gonna be useful, who's learning Go or try to build a REST API using Go or something similar. And for sure, leave any comments regarding any errors that you see on the video, or if you want to see another specific information here on this channel, right? That we can create new videos for your interests. Okay, so moving forward with the create tasks, right? So remember that I told you that Gin has a way of giving the metadata and the struct to convert that into an actual value on Go, right? So we're gonna first create our task here. Let's call this new task, right? The type is gonna be task. So we're gonna use the Gin context to do something called bin JSON. Right, so we're gonna pass here is the pointer to new task for him to do that, and this could generate an error, right? So we're gonna put here if error is different or equals nil, right? We're gonna just return JSON. Let's call this, let's see what we can do here. We're gonna return, I think we can call it bad request, status, bad request. Just gonna put a message here, malform JSON. Okay, so this, and we can return, right? Otherwise, what we're gonna do is call this task, right? The array, and we're gonna use an operation called append, right? In order to add the new task to the list, and then just, you know, make the reference to the variable here that we have in the outside, right? After that, we're just gonna send the message, okay, and just to make sure that this is working, data new new task. Okay, so that seems to be okay by now, right? Let's first complete all the functions, and then we start like testing and debugging to see if everything is how it's supposed to be, right? So we have the read task, so pretty straightforward. Let's create a data here, and we're just gonna move the tasks list into that. Should be enough. Let's create another get here, just to do an ID, task by ID, read task. I'm gonna call this read task in plural, and that one, read task, right? So read task should be, right? So here with the context, we can do ID equals G param, right? Indicating the name of the param that we put in the URL, right? So what we're gonna do is the following thing, right? We're gonna do a for loop, right? With, I believe it's index and value, right? Equals to range task. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm iterating over task using the range function. It returns on each iteration the index and the value that you know, of that position, right? So as we're doing the IDs equivalent to the position on the array, I'm just gonna do this. If I equals ID, right? Okay, bar I equal ID. I'm gonna double. Okay, so if we find the record, basically we're gonna do this, right? Data is gonna be B, right? We return because we don't need to do anything else, right? And if we're unable to find a match, we're just gonna return status not found. Here, message, say task ID not found. All right, we don't need to return. Okay, bar I in B, so we can do the shorthand syntax for declaring and creating the value, right? So let's see what's the problem with I. All right, a string, so we can do this, right? Params by name, router get, this is can I convert to int, invalid conversion, right? So this should be solved by converting the string to int, right? For that, we're gonna use, let's see, conversion to integer, right? Okay, and this is gonna return an error here, an ID, right? So if error is different than nil, we're just gonna print this error around here to get the gist of that. And we're gonna send a bad request. here, not valid ID. Okay, so now we have the ID, right? So if we match the position, we just return the data. Otherwise, we're gonna return a task ID not found, right? Read task. All right, update task, right? This is a little bit more complicated, right? We need to update a task. You also have to add an ID, right? Update task. So we're gonna do the same magic from here. Right, we use the ID, right? We're gonna also find, well, we don't need to find it like that. You can just access this by, let's call this all tasks. This is gonna be tasks, use an I, right? We also need to do the binding that we already did around here, which is this. Oh. Task. All right, all tasks. The carbon now use. Really clear value on. Okay. Let's call this error 1. We call this error 2, right? Not a valid ID, malformed JSON, right? So we're gonna simply do the following, right? All task dot name is gonna be equal to new task dot name. Same thing with the description. Description. That is okay. Task updated. Data. New task. Sorry, all task. This should be working, right? We got here an error, parameter 1. I'm sorry, this is gonna be ID. Now should be working, right? Finally, the delete task. This is a little bit of a complicated one. So in order for us to remove an ID from the array, we need to also modifying the array. First of all, let's go through this IDs validation. Perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove, let's see, task deleted. We're gonna remove the element by creating slices, right? So we're gonna create a slice of the task array, right? All the way to the ID, right? And starting from the ID all the way to the end and spreading this. Slices. You know what? I'm going to rearrange this into better. I'm going to call this first half, right? And I'm gonna call this second half. Which is gonna be starting from the ID all the way to the end, right? And then I'm gonna append first half and second half with the express operation. Package losses. Okay, so Let's see, slices. I think that we don't need this. I think that we can just use the brackets to create the slices, right? So we delete this and it should be task deleted, right? So let's go through it again. All right. So let's try to run this. So let's go and go run. Okay. So start the debugging. So I'm gonna open my Insomnia app. I'm gonna go to home. I'm gonna duplicate some of these web services. Let's see, collection. All right, I need to create a project first. It's gonna be JSON REST API with Go engine. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate some of this, right, and I'm gonna put it on GoGen. My collection. Okay, so here we go. So first of all, we have the post, right? This we're gonna replace it by localhost 8080 task, right? If I send this mal from JSON, so I'm gonna probably remove this, send mal from JSON. So we have a name, right, and a description. Let's go through here to create this. So let's go ahead and print this. Print line error, just to see what the problem is. Well, if we can see anything else. It's a task, right? Let me just check here. Post, task, create task. For JSON when creating a task. Just to make sure that we get the right route. Sure. Okay. Neil. Oh, I think it. Sorry, it's different than Neil. All right. Now we should be able to do this. Okay, in the data, right? If we're gonna do again, we push it again, we push a couple once again. So get that, we're gonna get that, we're gonna test to get all the tasks web service. If we get this, we got everything that we have here. If we put, let's do a couple more, and we have that here. All right, should be working now. So we get the get single. Let's get a single one. Let's put the REST API. So if we do this, it should not work. Get single. Oh, it's gonna pick up the previous endpoint. We put here 3. Let's see, we can get the third. Let's say if we put 33. Task ID not found. Perfect, right? And if we're gonna update this, let's do an update, right? Say that we're gonna update the number 1, right? Which number 1 should be this. Let's see if it works. So this is the new name for task 1. Send this. Go mal from JSON. It could be an error here. Let's see the put update task. Not a valid ID. Right. Same error. All right. We just restart the server. We're gonna start from scratch. So we only get 1. Store 2, 3, 4, 5. So can we get some meat there? And then if we update this, should be working as expected, right? So if we update this, should be working there. And let's do a delete. See the delete. If I delete the verb position, task deleted. And if I'm gonna get everyone here, let's see, delete a couple ones. We still get a task here. Let me see, let me check it out. Okay, I think I'm taking here this into consideration. I think it should be -1 to not to include the ID. So go run, go back here, create a couple tasks. Wow. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tasks. And if we want to delete one, let's go ahead, delete a couple ones. Then where we're gonna get the rest, oh, we actually got more. Oh, of course. We don't want to take the ID. It's a mistake. Let's go back to this. We create a bunch of tasks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if we're gonna delete one, we just delete a couple ones. And then we should have one less. And if we delete a couple ones additional for that, we should be having one less. Perfect. So I'm gonna push this code to GitHub for you guys to have it, right? Next video, we're gonna be connecting to MongoDB or MySQL. We're gonna check that out, right? I put here, adding additional JSON endpoints. And push this too. All right, guys, that's it for today's episode. Please, again, make sure to hit the like button if you like the video. Put any comments there that you think that are relevant, or ask for new videos to produce. Share this with anyone who you think that this content will be useful. And also, please make sure to subscribe to the channel to get notified if any other video comes our way. Thank you for watching.